They've been investing
Cars,
in
anime,
life, love, live, whatever the hell they said in that Kanto,
Kakawaku,
whatever. Peace and love.
Karakawa?
Kanto, Kanseong.
Karakawa?
It's
No,
Katakana.
Wait.
They had that word. Remember that word for their showcase?
Kudo.
Kempo?
Kondo.
Kondo.
I was close.
Emotion.
You know.
They invest in everything outside of gaming. You know what's the one investment they're making in gaming right now?
Oh,
The one investment.
This one.
tell them, baby.
Is this one. I'm not going to tell you yet because we got to get to the topic. But is this investment, that dude right there, making this investment? And yes, my friends, if you've been rocking out here, dealing with the ponies constantly coming at you, Xbox has died. Every game's going everywhere. PlayStation would never.
Oh, you fucked around and found out.
This one hurts.
Betrayal.
This is that shit that's stuck. It will not come out now, bro. It's done.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today we're going to go over your next dose of the Salty Batch files. And of course, we have some good receipts here. We have some good hypocrisy going on here. As usual, we have some good delusion, and we have some copium going on. And the salt, of course, is real. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. All right, so like I was saying, we're going to do, aside from the delusion that you took part of in the beginning, I think that kind of speaks for itself, right? But we're going to go up with everybody's favorite. I know, again, Colt Eastwood. Colt's... he just can't help himself, can he? Let's just pull up the example here, first of all, right? He states here, he's talking about Grounded 2. It's in beta form right now, right? But he's saying Grounded 2 is the best, all caps, best survival game he's ever played, with some bug emojis following behind that. You know, to each their own, right? I would love to believe Colt. I know a lot of you would maybe like to believe Colt, but how can we believe someone that has lied about multiple games, how good they've been, whether it been Crackdown 3, whether it have been the infamous Redfall that he swore and said was a great game, couldn't wait to see more, on and on and on. But we're here to try and believe that Grounded 2 is the best survival game that he's ever played. That's big words coming from somebody that plays a lot of games. He's playing a lot of games here. I haven't heard anything about Grounded 2 since the beta. No one's been talking about it. If it was so good, one of the best survival games that Mr. Colt Eastwood has played, wouldn't I have been hearing about this a little more? Somewhere on social media, word of mouth, anything whatsoever. I haven't heard jack about it. I did play the first one, thought it was okay, but got really mundane really quick. I would have liked to see more customization options for your avatars and stuff. I get it with the story, why it's the kids and all that sort of stuff. However, I just wanted some more customization options for your avatar, your person. But it is what it is. But again, it didn't wow me. So for him to come out here and sit there and make such a bold statement, are we really supposed to believe that? I don't know, but he's obviously trying to tout something again in Microsoft's corner. One of the best survival games out there, because I don't know if really PlayStation has a survival game out there, so we know where this was kind of leaning. Again, the defense core at its finest here, but let's continue on here. So we got Mr. Boomstick back. He's not doing an opener for the video, of course. He has a lot of terrible takes, of course, but as you can see here, the Xbox Series X is selling out everywhere in all caps. Do we see a theme here? We have the whole caps to really emphasize everything they do ever. Is this because of Call of Duty Black Ops going day and date into Xbox Game Pass? I'd say the winds of change are starting to blow Xbox's way with all this stuff. And of course, linking to his infamous YouTube channel where he just makes tons of sense, of course, as we see often enough. So again, we're having the narrative and the delusion behind this all of Black Ops changing the landscape for Xbox. Again, they aren't doing anything in particular, other than being more third-party than ever before. Battlefield 6 has more hype around it at this point in time. The latest Call of Duty isn't doing numbers right now as far as the hype is concerned. A lot of people voicing their frustrations with it. But yes, Black Ops 6 was the gemstone that was supposed to make this all happen and turn things around. That was the whole ABK thing, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And no, Xbox Series X is not selling out because of Call of Duty. They're not making quite as many. They're not manufacturing as many Xbox Series S's and X's out there for a multitude of reasons. I don't think I need to break that down at this point in time. I think we all know why that's the case. We've gone over that in the past multitude of videos, right? But again, the delusion, the delusional world that they come up with, and it's over. The console wars are over. That's what's so fascinating about this all. But again, they have nothing. This is their grift. This is their shilling. They need this. They need that engagement. They have to know better. I have a hard time really trying to understand that they're being serious. Maybe they are. Maybe they're that diluted and delusional. But at the same time, they have to have some wear and thaw of what they're doing. Can we agree on that? I can agree on that. But let's continue on here. Now, I want to share something from Ben Studio because a lot of Xbox fanboys and PC pro Xbox dudes out here to take advantage of just a simple post, of course. This was from Ben Studio from weeks ago. Days Gone Broken Road DLC is available now on GOG. Play all new game modes, including Speedrun, Permadeath, and Horde Assault, a survival arcade mode with increased size hordes. Now, why is that so important? Why is that so particular? Well, because they took something that Ben Studios was alluding to and saying, wait for something to happen to come out. They were speculating that this was the next PlayStation game to hit the Xbox console, and it ended up being what we just went over there. I thought that was great, but let's have some examples to what happened here, right? Now, just keep in mind, those that are port begging for Days Gone, we have an older tweet from Kloop, by the way, that was stating Ghost Rider by In Exile, right? Xbox's version of Days Gone, but good. So again, I love Days Gone, so much so that I did play through it in its entirety twice, platinumed it twice manually, didn't do the save popover or anything like that. Loved the game, but again, they were crapping on it. A lot of the outlets and Xbox Pro outlets that did play it were crapping on the game and all these bugs and stuff. And yes, there were some bugs, but the game was really, I think, phenomenal and was a great stepping stone for a sequel. We'll have to wait and see. But as we continue on now, it's time, because all Ben Studio posted, as you can see down below there, was an eyeglass emoji, right? Spying something right there. That's what they were alluding to. That's what they wanted. Now Days Gone is great, guys. Now that it's hitting their platform, it's a great game. The shill couldn't be any more harder than what it is right now. So again, it was being made fun of. They just need to make a Ghost Rider game, which, hell, I'm again all about a Ghost Rider game, please, Marvel, Insomniac, whoever wants to make it, make a good one. But that being said, do you see how the narrative shifts? Do you see how the focus shifts? You gotta love it. As we continue on here, again, Jez going on with this. Days Gone on Xbox confirmed. Again, when he does this stuff, he gets this scapegoat. He gets the get out of jail free card by saying later on in the thread, I was just joking, it was satire, all this stuff. When deep down we know, for a fact, we know these guys and we know Jez, they were hoping that was the case. Because if that did happen after that tweet, after that post, man, they'd be rubbing it in really hard. They'd be all about it, loving it. We're going to get it day one, blah, blah, blah. We know how the whole rhetoric works. But again, he gets to kind of deflect that off of that shield and be like, I was just kidding. It was satire. Not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. But they're running with it, right? Here we got Magnum Force also replying to Ben Studio just directly in the thread even. Xbox port for Days Gone, question mark? Man, port begging at its finest. I'm not in anybody's mentions. I'm not in Xbox mentions in the threads, nothing like that, being like, Halo Remastered when? Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, ODST, Halo Wars, Halo Infinite. Am I going on about that? No, because if it happens, it happens. Great. If I feel like playing it, great. I'm not going to port beg. If I wanted to play those games, like I stated multiple times, I'd play them on my gaming PC laptop. I'd be playing them on an Xbox and buying a console for those games, but I don't care. Me as Personally, I don't care. For those that love it, great. That's probably why you got the platform that can play those games. Fantastic. But you're not going to catch me in these threads port begging like these poor idiots right here. As we continue on here. And of course, we got Destin with one of his videos. I don't know if you've seen this one. From a day ago, he had 13K views, engagement farming, as you can see down there below. Both of them are going third party, right? Xbox and PlayStation are going third party, and people are losing it, right? Again, PlayStation has been third party. By the time that video came out, PlayStation's been third party, just a different aspect of being third party, not the full-on third party where they're releasing their first party single-player games onto a competing platform because they're bowing out and going the Ubisoft and the EA route, with a little bit of dipping in with some hardware stuff with the Xbox ROG Ally X, right? Which is a story all on its own there when you can't play your Xbox games natively, and they swear that that was what was going to happen. But again, it's the hurry up and wait, and we'll wait for this new hybrid console coming from Xbox. But in the meantime, you got this shilling stuff from Destin Legary that both of them are going third party and everybody's losing it. Destin was losing it way before everybody else was losing it, but I digress right there. But let's continue on here. As we continue on here, right? So again, Clute didn't leave it alone. We have to revisit this, right? I didn't want a bunch of Clutes in a row, but here we have it. Now just imagine we get the Days Gone Remastered Game Pass announcement tomorrow. So he's still working on that, right? He's retweeting, reposting Xbox Game Pass, who's coming soon. And now they're still writing on it because that is what they were wanting. The next best thing, that's what they wanted to do. Even this game they crapped on, like I mentioned before. Not only do they not want to buy it, they want it on Game Pass because, yes, Sony is so desperate for their games to sell because they need to be putting them on Game Pass, let me tell you. And down below, one of the biggest idiots out there as well. The circle runs large with these guys, right? PlayStation is a third-party games trailers. What? What kind of name is that, first of all, right? But he does come in on top of that and says it's coming, right? So as they run in with it, they shill, they change their usernames for at least the front part, right? And then they come on, it's coming. They're adding on to it, trying to add fuel to the fire, trying to get traction, hoping that PlayStation goes down that same path that Xbox has gone down, which is waving that white flag and giving up and going full on third party. They're hurting every day. They're rubbing their pictures of Phil Spencer, kissing it before they go to bed at night, saying their prayers to Aaron Greenberg, whatever they got to do in order to make themselves feel better at night, but this is just one of it. Now, before we wrap up the video here, I do have one more post here I do want to share, and this is from Cucktinga himself, of course. I loved it. This is my favorite of it because he was hoping to, wishing on a star, whatever the case is. Jiminy Cricket Jr. here. Imagine if it turns out to be a Days Gone Xbox port. Obviously reposting what they were doing there. Hoping for the win there. Hoping for the win. It didn't happen. We've shown what it was all about there, but he was hoping, not because of gaming, not because he wants everybody to play, but just because he relishes in the fact that that's a W for him and the sheep that follow him, since he is pro Xbox and pro PC, that's what he gets, that's what he wants, and not just engagement farming at its finest there. That's what he's looking for, but it didn't work out that way, and he takes yet another L, just like he always does, just like his name entails, right? Cucktinga will not ever be lived down. That's just who and what he is, and just a sad individual, but unfortunately, his wish did not come true. Maybe he can write a letter to Disney, maybe get a cameo with Jiminy Cricket wishing upon that star. Who knows? Whatever he needs to do to make himself feel better. But alas, this was just a giant L all the way down. Whenever a first-party PlayStation game company, dev, studio posts something out, they're immediately, if something is even remotely vague, they're ready to pounce on that and make sure they get the best out of it. Get that engagement farming, get the shilling, getting the sheep over to sub, follow, whatever they want, the super chats, all the above, right? That's what they want. Without a lick of truth to it, without being honest, without overhyping, without overanalyzing incorrectly, all that stuff there as well. But You love to see it. I know I do. Folks, appreciate it. If you stuck around for the entirety of the video, thank you all so much. Really appreciate that. If you haven't already, definitely consider liking, commenting down below. Both those things do help out the algorithm. Would love to hear from you as well. If you want more of the truth, you enjoy that, definitely consider subscribing. Also having a little bit of fun, helping out a small content creator like myself. Appreciate it once again. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And of course, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.